Hello, I'm Peggy Anne Saltz at CTIA Wireless for bnetTV, and today I'm speaking with Faraz Syed, who is the CEO of DeviceAnywhere. And why don't we just begin with that? It's best you describe your company because it has such a vast brief.
Sure. So DeviceAnywhere is a company that provides user experience management solutions, starting from the design, development, and QA stages to quality of service monitoring after launch of mobile products, followed by DeviceAnywhere Consumer, which is basically a consumer education suite of tool sets. So basically our goal is to provide you tools that you can use to both ensure quality of your mobile products as well as ensure a quality user experience at the end of your cycle.
So is it the case that things are sort of coming together? Because I think one of the drivers for your business might be the fact that it's so much fragmentation out there, so much confusion. You know, Android, X number of other systems. Is that what's happening?
That's exactly what's happening. So one of the fundamental problems that you would face if you were a mobile developer of any kind is that you have to build and test your products on a very large number of handsets, and that fragmentation is only growing. You've got, the iPhone in the mix now. You've got a number of Android phones coming out. You've got the proprietary operating systems and the hardware differences and the networks and all of that just make up for a very large number of handsets, and that's really the driver for our business, because what DeviceAnywhere fundamentally provides is the ability for developers to remotely access thousands of real handsets in networks to do all of their testing needs, basically do all of the testing that they need to do on devices in networks.
Could you give me an overview of how many devices or how many countries? I mean, where can I test these? What are they good for? Which operators?
Right, so DeviceAnywhere is growing all the time. As of right now, we are in 6 countries, covering 30 operators, and have more than 1,500 physical phones deployed across these 6 countries. Countries are US, Canada, UK, France, Germany, and Japan. And we are looking forward to expanding into additional locations. We are constantly adding phones. One of the announcements we made at today at the CTIA show is that we've added the iPhone 3G to the DeviceAnywhere portfolio, and a number of additional new phones are coming out, and we announce that on a monthly basis. But we're also expanding into new markets.
Could you give me any insights into what you're actually seeing? Because you're sort of in the middle of all this. So you're seeing what applications are being tested, what phones are very popular. What are you seeing from your vantage point?
So from our vantage point, that's a very good point, is we do find ourselves in the center of the mix, where because so many different developer and application companies are using us, we kind of know what's happening in the market. And what we're seeing is that there is a resurgence, if you will, of the mobile internet. There's a growing interest in companies to build mobile web applications. But interestingly, everyone who's building a mobile application is building a combination of a browser-based app, a downloadable app, and an SMS component, because they want to leverage all capabilities of the device. The other interesting thing that we're noticing is that it's not just the pure mobile players anymore. It's also your banks, your airlines, your travel companies, your regular mainstream enterprise and consumer services companies are getting into the mobile space pretty rapidly. So these are the two sort of trends that we are seeing right now, is the growth in mobile web applications and the growth in mobile offerings from traditional companies.
Well, that's very interesting, because if you think about the discussion up to this point, it was the idea that there are 2 internets, or that we don't really need a mobile web because we'll just have all the internet sites on mobiles. This speaks very much against that. That's a fascinating point.
Yeah, contrary to what the iPhone says, leave the internet as is. And I'm sure people have seen that is you could just access any web page on the iPhone. However, what we see companies doing is we see companies optimizing their web pages for even the iPhone, because you can obviously deliver a better experience if you structure your web page to fit that form factor, which basically means that your backbone or your backend infrastructure might be the same, but the front ends that you're going to create for these phones will be different.
So what does that mean about the evolution of your own company? Because we're thinking of DeviceAnywhere, we're thinking originally, okay, it's about making certain everything is optimized for the devices, but it could become much more than that going forward. I mean, what is your plans?
So based on the trends that we're seeing, we are expecting that the mobile internet, the mobile web application space is going to grow very rapidly because of the demand that we're seeing. So we are focusing some of our new product innovations and some of the feature additions that we're doing into our current product base to be more focused on mobile web applications. helping customers do a lot more test automation on web applications, a lot more quality of service monitoring on those web applications. Because when you get into the website and when you are a big company trying to create a mobile product, mobile web application, you do care about because you are used to doing test automation. You want to do test automation. You want to monitor for quality. And so while traditionally we've been offering our products and it's applicable to mobile web products today, we're going to add more features and more capabilities, more specifically focused on web customers.
So what do you see your role then? More being an enabler and allowing the internet companies, the traditional companies, to go mobile? Is that what it's all about now?
Will be one of the tools that they will need. That's what as we are today, we will continue to remain that way. But what we will become and continue to expand in that area is a necessary tool and a required tool to ensure that you deliver the right quality of experience, even if you're doing a web application. So we will be one of the tools that they will need.
Would you be looking at certification as well? I mean, one thing is to make certain it works, then maybe there's something that works really, really well.
So certification is a very interesting area for us, and we are being approached by a number of entities, which are operators or handset manufacturers or even platform operating system providers, where they are trying to open up the system to third-party application providers a little bit more than it is right now. But then they have to deal with the concern of quality, and because of that, they want to implement some sort of self-certification, some sort of certification systems. And our system is really geared up for that. We do have the module, we do have the capabilities and features to provide certification, where developers can just log in, certify their apps, submit certification assets to the sponsor, who can then do spot checks, and then they can get certified. So that is a growing area of interest, especially with the launch of the iPhone App Store. Other entities want to launch the App Store. One part of the App Store is ensuring quality. How do you do that? How do you make sure it does not be, the quality assurance does not become a bottleneck? So that kind of stuff is also happening in the market, as far as we can tell.
So what's next for DeviceAnywhere? I mean, is this, for example, the next growth market for you, or is there something else?
Well, we're a fairly diversified company, so we do a number of different things. But one thing we're doing very aggressively is expand DeviceAnywhere's footprint on a global basis and covering more countries, more markets, more operators. That's one thing. From a feature perspective, we're getting deeper into test automation, like I said, to cover more test automation monitoring for mobile web offerings, which we already have, and we'll expand on that. And then lastly, as we see this emergence of more certification needs and desires, that's something that we will be covering.
Okay. Well, thank you. For bnetTV, I'm Peggy Anne Saltz.